Whakatalofa atu ko Johnson Raida tōku ingoa, Ulutons mai to the Pacific.
Kamna Māori, Arawangai Alice Lolo here. Here's what's coming up on the show.
Vanuatu on the brink of voting in their first ever national referendum.
And the Jurassic Park of the Pacific, Chris and Rita Almanu-Leong journeys to Te Te Pare.
How do you feel? Scared.
But first, we're in New Caledonia, where French President Emmanuel Macron has travelled to try and find a political solution to the crisis that's engulfed the territory in recent weeks. But before we head to Noumea, let's break it down for you. France has struggled to regain control after riots broke out across New Caledonia. The crisis was sparked by a move to change New Caledonia's electoral rolls, but more broadly, the unrest centres around governance and inequality. More than 40% of New Caledonia's population are Indigenous Kanaks, many of whom want full independence from France.
Long live Kanaki.
Businesses are shut and supplies are running low. The arrival of President Macron has brought with it hopes of a solution, but trust has been damaged on all sides, and the path forward will be long.
Then, finally, I want us to have a frank, direct, open debate on political, institutional and project issues, in a framework that I have always recalled when I was among you, the one that I posed in 2018 in my speech, respecting the history of this people's territory.
Now, we know New Caledonian independence is a vexed issue in the Pacific, where colonisation has a long and fraught history. Here's what some around the region are saying. Vanuatu's Foreign Minister Matai Seremaya expressed concern over the decision to unfreeze the electoral roll and urged the French government to engage in peaceful and meaningful dialogue with Kanak leaders. And West Papua independence leader Benny Wenda has also thrown his support behind Kanaki, saying both New Caledonia and West Papua will be free nations. With tensions still simmering, we spoke to those grappling with the chaos and with some of the Kanak youth who have been out amidst the unrest.
Aujourd'hui, là, on était dans les émeutes, ce qu'ils appellent les émeutes. Nous, on appelle ça le réveil de la jeunesse kanak.
On the outskirts of Noumea, a group of Kanak youth tell us they haven't slept for days.
Ils parlent de nous comme des terroristes, mais c'est eux en fait qui font les terroristes ici, c'est pas nous.
On n'est pas des assassins, on se défend. On protège nos familles, on a des enfants.
For more than a week now, men like this have been at the forefront of the unrest.
Ils ont brûlé la société le froid.
They talk of decolonisation, about independence for Kanaks. But most of all, they speak of neglect.
Maintenant, il ne faut pas qu'ils s'étonnent, ils ont toujours laissé les quartiers derrière. Ce mouvement a été commenté. Faut pas s'étonner que personne n'écoute.
Il n'y a que nous, ici, on est marginalisés. Il n'y a personne qui nous voit. On manque de peau. They prefer to die standing than to be kneeling, having oppression every day.
Many Kanaks say they're still striving to right the wrongs of the past. Language has been lost and traditional lands and customs dispersed.
Et de là, ça découle aussi du mal-être aussi du peuple kanak. Parce que nous, on a ce lien à la terre. On a ce lien à la terre, et puis quand on va nous enlever de cette terre, on est considéré comme des errants. Et dans la vision kanak. You know, in the Melanesian tradition, the land is very, very important. And one day, someone who doesn't belong to land and come and take it off from you. The young people, at the moment, old people won't stop them. They're determined.
Whatever the reason, the economic toll of the destruction is being felt by everyone.
Moi, je viens de Majota, c'est difficile. Je cherche le chemin comment il faut venir au travail. Je n'ai pas travaillé pendant 4 jours.
Fishermen are stuck in port.
Là, je dis franchement, je sais qu'on va perdre beaucoup, nous, parce qu'on travaille dans le poisson. Tous les grandes surfaces ont été cramées. Les petits magasins de tir ont été brûlés, saccagés. C'est dommage. Je croyais qu'on fait une lutte pour construire.
Down the road, one worker is keeping watch.
On surveille un peu les lieux pour essayer de protéger un peu le truc pour les aliments et puis enfin le supermarché. C'est de protéger pour les gens, pour les mamies, tout ça là.
He doesn't want to be identified, fearing reprisals.
On est dans un chaos total quoi, à Nouméa. Hein. C'est les gens se cherchent à manger, à plus rien quoi.
With some calm now returning, thoughts are turning to what's next.
Ouais, franchement oui, je suis inquiet. Je sais pas si, franchement, si le pays pourra se relever avec tout ce qui se passe là, tout ce qui est pillé.
But the relative harmony of the past few decades isn't all lost. Residents here are banding together to take medical supplies across the bay to Mount Dore, which is still inaccessible by road. As they unload, a medevac helicopter evacuates a patient. Finally, they arrive.
Aider à débarquer du bateau, amener jusqu'au véhicule, qui nous ont proposé leur véhicule aussi. Et ça, c'est vraiment quelque chose qui fait chaud au cœur parce que sur Nouméa, on oublie un petit peu la Calédonie profonde. Et puis à ce titre-là, je voudrais quand même rajouter que souvent on voit dans les médias beaucoup de choses qui sont très erronées. Les gens vivent heureux ensemble ici et il ne faudrait peut-être pas l'oublier dans les médias.
Bonjour, bienvenue. Je vous en prie. Au revoir, bonne semaine.
And in the centre of Nouméa, residents from all backgrounds gather for a peace rally.
Toute cette multiculture qui est mélangée. Voilà qu'il n'y a pas des barrières qui nous empêchent d'aller là où on a envie d'aller. Et retrouver le sourire, la joie et le vivre ensemble. Voilà.
Et retrouver notre pays.
Voilà.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
But for those on the fringes of New Caledonian society, there can be no peace without prosperity, no future without independence.
The young people want the self-determination for the country because they've seen hardship they've been through and they want it now.
Ce qu'on veut voir, c'est que tout le monde soit égaux et qu'il veut investir dans les quartiers riches. Il faut investir dans les quartiers pauvres. C'est pour ça que les gens ils volent.
Je veux dire aux jeunes de se calmer, puis politiciens, bougez-vous le cul, puis voilà, faites quelque chose pour nos jeunes.
I'm now joined by Roch Wamitan, President of the Congress to New Caledonia. Bonjour, Mr. Wamitan.
Merci.
Now, you lived through the unrest in the 1980s and were part of the agreements that, with France, that brought more than 30 years of peace to Kanak and New Caledonia. On a personal level, can you tell us your emotions seeing the events of the past couple of weeks?
Une très grande tristesse de ce qui vient de se dérouler.
Very sad for what has been happening for almost 2 weeks now. Compared to what we experienced 40 years ago, what we should remember is that we were on the verge of civil war here in New Caledonia. We noted that when President Macron came to power in May 2017, and when he made his first trip here to New Caledonia in May 2018, he said in his speech, France would not be as beautiful without New Caledonia. And we thought to ourselves, the French government has changed its stance. It was going to take sides. Macron was going to take up the cause of the loyalists. Then the 2021 referendum. We begged President Macron to postpone. He actually chose sides to keep New Caledonia part of France, regardless of the cost. It is these 3 years of frustrations, of humiliation of the Kanak people who at some point said to themselves that this process must be stopped and has led to the Kanak revolts for 2 weeks now.
The call was for dialogue. Macron is in New Caledonia. What do you want from the French president?
En tout cas, franchement, nous n'attendons rien.
In any case, frankly, we don't expect anything because of what we've been doing with all these demonstrations, these mobilizations. Thousands of young people have risen to defend their land, to stop assimilation, to defend the independence of their country. For the FLNKS to move forward, the President of the Republic must answer a single question. That is, Mr. President, will you withdraw the constitutional revision of the electoral laws? It's this law that the President absolutely must remove for the horizon to clear.
Changes to the electoral roll and questions around independence are obviously at the heart of the issue, but what has caused the explosion in unrest and division at this moment?
Well, in fact, it was a decision of the Caledonian Union, which is the majority pro-independence party in New Caledonia. During its last Congress in November, we decided to instigate demonstrations because we saw that discussions with the French state were stalling. But still, President Macron remained deaf to all our calls. There were warning signs. Now, for more than a week, we've been a bit overwhelmed by the events. I admit that independence leaders were surprised. Perhaps we did not sufficiently take into account the profound frustration of young Kanak people. The main prison here, 92% or 92 to 95% of the inmates, of which there are about 600, are young Kanak people. We knew that our youth, or part of our youth, had radicalized, but we hadn't understood the depth of this desire for revenge. The economic damage is enormous, and unfortunately, it is not over despite our calls. Unfortunately, it is not finished yet. That's why we've questioned the arrival of President Macron. It is a very complicated moment for New Caledonia, and it is very complicated for him because it is, as a whole, that the Kanak people now say that he is not welcome. He is not welcome with his ministers who have slashed and burnt New Caledonia. They are responsible.
Well, France has accused Kanak leaders of colluding with foreign powers, specifically Azerbaijan. You've drawn criticism for your relationship with them. How do you respond to those accusations?
Vous savez, madame, je vais vous dire une chose, ce sont les vieilles recettes.
I'm going to tell you something. Those are the old recipes. We know a lot about colonizing countries, especially France. They accuse others in 1984, 1988, and now they are accusing Azerbaijan. They accuse Russia. But these two countries have nothing to do with what happened here. These two countries support us. That's all.
So these recent tensions have divided New Caledonia, but we also see a lot of solidarity between people. Is peace possible?
Well, there you go. That's all. That is the whole problem, because amongst all this bad news, we are seeing a lot of acts of solidarity. Because we are here, because we live, because we are a peaceful people. So what I can say is that lasting peace is possible. It is necessary. We are going to have to face our youth who are going to be completely radicalized. And we don't want that. And that is why we are strongly criticizing the French government. And so this peace is possible, on the condition that France must play fair. But yes, I believe in peace. It is possible.
Ole team, Mr. Wamitan, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Vanuatu is on the brink of a historic decision aimed at ending chronic instability and enhancing governance. The people of Vanuatu are frustrated with the state of the nation and they want change. As voting day approaches, we head to Port Vila to talk to locals and leaders as they prepare for Vanuatu's first ever national referendum. Here's Leah Luanbu.
2023 was a challenging year for Vanuatu. The island nation was smashed by 3 tropical cyclones, putting further pressure on an already fragile economy. Making matters worse, political turmoil. Between September and October, Vanuatu went through 3 prime ministers after a series of no-confidence motion. First, there was Ismail Kalsakau.
We promised to deliver to the people.
Then Sato Kilman earned his 5th stint as PM. 23 days later, he was replaced by Charles Salwai.
Unopposed Prime Minister of the Republic of Vanuatu.
There was going to be a 4th, but the president stepped in. The musical chairs within government has frustrated the people of Vanuatu.
Because a lot of the challenges that have precipitated what is now the road to the referendum is that floor crossing in Parliament has been a particular sport.
I'm not sure if there's a way we can solve this without something like a riot or something bigger. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing change.
The political instability has finally prompted government to react.
We've had a very serious problem with instability, with changes in prime ministers and governments. It wasn't due to parties moving, it was due to individual MPs moving out of parties, crossing the floor, individual single MPs hopping to and fro.
On May 29th, the people of Vanuatu will vote in a referendum to decide on 2 constitutional amendments. The changes will prevent MPs from switching political parties during their term and ensure independent MPs affiliate with a party stay with that party for the full term. Should they be terminated or resign, the seat will then become vacant and trigger a by-election.
It won't stop instability completely because we are still allowing political parties to be able to move and leave a coalition if they want to join the opposition. We believe that if we stop independent or single members from being able to move, then we will greatly reduce the political instability we're seeing in the past few years.
But there are still lingering questions over the vote.
There should be more awareness according to this topic. I'm 30 years old, but I'm still 90% unsure of what's going on. So
I've just come back from Tana 2 weeks ago, and maybe 10 ladies told me they don't know anything about 29. And they are scared, they are frightened of going to the polling station to vote because they don't know. What are they going to do?
I think the government should get more campaigns into the community and get involved more with the young people, because most of the young people doesn't know what to vote on 29th of May. They are not sure if they are going to give their vote or not because they don't understand what the referendum is.
A lack of public consultation was the key reason Ismail Kalsakau recently resigned as opposition leader and called for the referendum to be postponed.
Somebody else thinks they can do a better job, then let them try.
A no-vote campaign group led by Kalsakau's brother Joshua will have a case heard in Vanuatu's Supreme Court to try and stop the referendum from going ahead. For voters, it's clear they want change.
When it comes to assistance in terms of anything, materials or whatever, I am just calling on the government. Can we do that equally to everybody, men and women?
I hope that the referendum will change the environment of the parliament and of course the system, which we need more qualified people to bring us forward.
And referendum results could be known by June 10th. Joining me now to further discuss the national referendum is former Prime Minister Ismail Kalsakau. Hello and welcome to the Pacific.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm pleased to be here.
Now, can we please start with what's happening in New Caledonia? Vanuatu has also had a challenging relationship in the past with France. What is your response to what's happening in New Caledonia now?
Yes, it's pretty sad, isn't it? I mean, it's like the goalposts have changed for the Kanaki people, but Vanuatu remains steadfast in its support for the Kanaki people, as long as they are unanimously resolved that they wish to determine their own fate, then they will always enjoy the 100% support of Vanuatu.
So what do you think will be the best way forward to restore peace?
It would be wise for the French government, and I say this with the greatest respect, to pursue dialogue with them using their traditional structures, so that at the end of the day they can restore back some respect, bring respectability back to the table, and they can move forward by way of discussions and dialogue to determine what it is that they want for their future.
To the referendum, you recently resigned as opposition leader, saying there needed to be 1, more public consultation, and 2, the referendum was poorly drafted. Now, were there any other concerns around the referendum?
Well, the reaction that I've received from people is, have we really exhausted all our avenues to deal with instability other than just resorting to restriction of rights guaranteed to the people? And people are questioning whether those discussions have been exhausted or otherwise, and the people need to explore for themselves whether this is the right path to take.
Now, there's a no-vote group that are trying to stop the referendum, and that case will be heard in the Supreme Court soon. Your brother Joshua, he's one of the leaders. Now, is this a group you support?
They visited me when I was the opposition leader, and I must say that I felt that 90% of the membership of the no group were people who just weren't in the know at all. They were confused, believed they needed more time, so that at the end of the day, no one's denied their right to go and vote for an issue like the referendum. And nobody's dragged into a polling booth by the government, hell-bent on a direction that could be detrimental to the people themselves.
And finally, how will the outcomes of this referendum impact Vanuatu?
Well, the theory is that it'll keep governments stable, so that the governments will be able to provide delivery services to the people. That remains to be seen whether that will eventuate. But we need responsible leadership, making sure that the leadership tomorrow is responsible, combating corruption in a big way, keeping leaders honest, and making sure that they adhere to the promises that they give to their people. Then it isn't something that can happen overnight, and I don't think a constitutional amendment, with the greatest respect, will achieve that overnight.
Thank you too much for your time, Mr. Kauskau.
Thank you so much.
Now, it's known as the Jurassic Park of the South Pacific. Te Tipare is the largest uninhabited island in the region, and it's teeming with turtles, crocodiles and lush rainforests.
But there's also a lot of mystery surrounding this last wild island found in Solomon Islands. Who are the people of Te Tipare? What remains of them?
Our Solomon Islands reporter, Chris and reader Manu Leong, went to the island with Radio National's Jordan Fennell to find out.
We are so excited because we are finally going to Te Tipare Island. What we've heard is that if you haven't been to Jurassic Park, this is the Pacific Jurassic Park. Are we there yet?
Not for a long time.
Hi, nice to meet you. Me, Chris. We have finally reached our destination. Hello.
People, sometimes they put them on the door. If the evil spirits want to come and close to your house, and if they know the leaf, they will move out from your house.
We will take this back with us.
Just like any other islands in the Solomon Island, people were here, but some 150 to 200 years ago, the people left the island because of headhunting. The descendants of Te Tipare, some of them don't want to step on this island. We are not scared like them. People don't want to come here. This is a spirit island.
We are off to see the coconut crabs. How do you feel? Scared. Huh? Hopefully we'll get to see bigger ones. That's a hermit crab. And the tiny ones. Okay, don't come out. Yeah, maybe just not yet. Okay, yep. We've only seen one coconut crab. Night activity.
Yeah.
It's really happening. The jungle is alive. Okay. It's day 2. So remember how last night we weren't able to see any of those coconut crabs? Well, guess what? I'll be showing you. But if it was small, oh my gosh, no, maybe not.
More than this, I'll hold him.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna try. I'll run away.
Hold him.
Oh, you can bite. I've been told that you can take off my finger, so maybe I'm not gonna try. I did it. See, meet my new friend. Hope he doesn't bite me. But yeah, I'm just so excited and grateful to be able to have this opportunity.
We're seeing turtle hatchlings.
When they want to do nesting, they have to come back to this beach. They know already where the ocean is.
Amazing how they're able to just find their way. Oh no! Oh wow, they're gone! One's gone. That's it for us. What did you think of this whole trip?
Absolutely amazing. I can't believe it. The most beautiful place I've ever been to.
Same. And an enriching experience. And that's it for us. From the Ranger world,
Signing off from Tetepare.
Oh, a remote island, uninhabited. Maybe we can banish you there.
Are you kidding me? I grew up in the islands. I'd survive there. You can hear more about Tetepare Island on the ABC's Pacific Scientific podcast. Just head online to ABC Pacific or to the ABC Listen app.
That's our show. Me te kia te paka for joining us.
Welcome you.